Now for the biggest stories of the week. Amber and Adam, I'm going to show you all a clip package referencing a major news event that happened this week. You got to watch the montage and tell us what's the story. Here we go.
People are at the TV store. Yeah. Little clown doing a little dance and fire.
That's actually election day in about 9 days. Just a fire.
Well, thank you for the optimism. The story is traditional media outlets are being criticized for glossing over Trump's erratic behavior for fear of appearing biased. The media's been using a fun new word for this phenomenon. Does anyone know what that word is?
Stupidity.
Sanewash.
Oh, yeah.
Let's find out.
Sanewashing.
Sanewashing.
Sanewashed.
He's been sanewashed, which is now an expression.
Yes, and if you thought sane washing used to be called gaslighting, you're probably crazy.
It's them actually being really nice, because the only other way to describe Trump is crackhead at this point. Because remember he was dancing at that thing for like 30 minutes? You know? It's like only crackheads do that. Just, right? Stand in the same place and dance for 30 minutes, you know? Right?
Don't clap for crackhead. How does CNN's Van Jones describe the difference between the coverage of Trump and the coverage of Vice President Harris?
Oh, I know this one. He said, Trump, I think, gets to be lawless and she has to be flawless.
Here's Van Jones.
He gets to be lawless. She has to be flawless.
Come on.
Yeah, teammate.
That's what I'm talking about.
But it's maddening that they have to do their best to find flaws in what Kamala is saying and doing.
Right.
But this man is a toddler with his pants pulled down, doing whatever he wants, but she has to be perfect. And it is a lot like being a black lady. It is bananas.
Okay, so then to that point, is Kamala being held to a different standard?
100%. Every time Trump speaks, he basically just does armpit farts and everybody laughs. And then at the end of the day, he's like, there you go, vote for me. Nobody knows what Donald Trump stands for.
Speaking as a black lady, I just want to say that...
You're not a black lady. Yes, you're strong. Yes, you're beautiful.
And proud, and proud.
And you are quite proud.
He's so close. Oh, my
So
God.
close. You almost have liked it. Very close.
How has Vice President Harris explained her shifting positions on things like fracking and policing?
She explained that when she was first talking about fracking, that she had her fingers crossed behind her back.
Here's the Madam Vice President.
If a perspective needs to be informed by different points of view to build consensus and to have a common sense approach.
I'm not a fan of people changing their mind or having principles.
If she is sitting, look, I was a senator from California, then I was vice president for 4 years. I kind of learned something, I changed. We should be encouraging. And by the way, politicians used to actually kind of, in the old days, say one thing to make it through a primary and then move to the center.
There was another word that the media's moved on to describe Trump.
I think it's fascist.
Let's find out.
Fascist.
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 Fascist. Fascist.
Fascist.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
Larry Wilmer.
Funny because it's true.
This week, U.S. Marine Corps General and former Trump Chief of Staff John Kelly did an interview with the New York Times that ran on page 12. What did the former Chief of Staff say about Trump?
He's a fascist. I feel like we just went over this.
Kelly technically didn't call Trump a fascist, but he did say Trump, quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist for sure. I'm not saying Larry Wilmore's black, but he falls into the definition of black when you think about black.
What is the general definition of fascism? I happen to write it down just because I thought this might come up. A populist political philosophy that exalts nation and often race above the individual, headed by a dictatorial leader.
So your phone is broke.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a good point.
Hey, Siri.
General Kelly also reminded people that on multiple occasions, Trump has said, quote, you know, Hitler did some good things too. I like what he did in that bunker at the end.
That was my favorite moment.
That was a good part.
That was my favorite.
That claim also backs up a piece in The Atlantic this week that stated 2 people overheard Trump saying, quote, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had.
I just really wish there was an old Nazi somewhere that says, I knew Hitler. Hitler was a friend of mine. Donald Trump, you are no Hitler.
Fox News gave Trump a pass for his statements. How did Fox News explain Trump's Hitler's general comments?
I think he defended it, actually.
Let's hear it from Brian Kilmeade.
And I could absolutely see him going out, you know what? It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do, knowing that's a third, maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals who are Nazis and whatever.
So, just to be clear, maybe Trump's so stupid he didn't know the Nazis was bad. That's his defense.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
If Trump was really a fascist, he would be out to attack the media. Tell me what went down between Trump and CBS.
He's either suing them or said he would pull their license.
He threatened to sue him by doubling down on his post that CBS should have its broadcast license revoked for their 60 Minutes interview with Vice President Harris.
Yeah, that sounds First Amendment-y.
Yeah. He went after CBS, but that's just that could be an anomaly.
That's probably all it was.
Yeah.
That's it.
What did Trump say about ABC?
No.
He said it's the beginning of the alphabet, and that's why he loves it.
He said, always be clothing.
He said it's his favorite Jackson 5 song.
That's right.
Trump said the exact same thing about ABC that he said about CBS, but this time he did it in his natural habitat of Fox and Friends.
They're a news organization. They have to be licensed to do it. They ought to take away their license.
I understand getting mad at the network, though. I got mad at ABC when they canceled Castle. But alas, one brave journalist is giving voters a new framework for a second Trump presidency. Does anyone know who this brave new architect is?
Junior? Donald Trump Jr.?
It's Tucker Carlson.
Oh, sure.
Good. That's
Who is the pioneer of something that I would like to call spank washing.
When Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Question to the panel, what's the creepiest thing you've ever seen in your life?
That's some repressed stuff over there.
There's more.
You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
What's weird is the metaphor ran out a long time ago.
It's pretty gross, but it's fine because he doesn't have children, right?
Tucker has kids.
I think it's kids. Yeah.
Can they be taken away? Save them.
The story is, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck and says that Duck Hitler had some good ideas, that's a fascist duck. Michael and Larry, your turn. Watch the clip.
Okay.
And tell me what's the story.
All right, that's voting.
Voting?
That's
Election?
a referee.
Election rules?
We're canceling this contract.
Voting machine?
Oh, that's the.
This is disinformation, right, about voting?
They're setting the table for challenges to the election.
Points for y'all. Nicely done.
We're so good at this, you
The
guys.
story.
We are so good at this.
That was a very black-ass gap y'all gave me.
Can I be honest? I didn't understand what was happening because I knew there was a real gap and I didn't know how to do
It's
it. Will you
okay.
just show me?
Yeah. See,
Don't you
as we're
show
going-
him the secrets. Show
I'll
him the
show you
basic
later.
interracial dap, but don't give him the triple.
You're right, Roy. I'll show you later, Michael.
When I get my vigorous spanking?
When your journey as a black woman is complete.
The story is Republican efforts to undermine election integrity ahead of November 5th. Sing along if you know the words.
If there was no cheating, if God came down from a high and said, I am going to be your vote tabulator.
God would wake up from a 9-year coma and be like, y'all voted for who?
It's just the same play over and over again.
I love that they think that all those ballots were thrown away or whatever, except for the ones that the Republicans won on. Somehow those miraculously got through.
Actually, in 2020, after they were lying about this, that was the best question I'd ask my colleagues is like, well, you won your district. Was that fraudulent? There's no answer to that ever.
But I do feel like you all are being a little bit presumptuous because Trump and J.D. Vance have already come out this year and said that they will accept the results of this year's presidential election on one condition.
Sure, if it's a free and fair election.
Yeah, sure, if it's a fair election.
See, that's all it's got to be.
I believe him because he was
fair.
working at McDonald's when he said it.
Yeah. With early voting just getting started, over 230 Republican candidates on the ballot are already calling it unfair. What kind of things are they saying about early voting?
Illegals voting.
Yeah, while
There's
they're
all
not
these-
eating your cats and dogs, they're voting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have time. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Cat burrito, that's what I got.
Yo, that one deserves a dap, Roy.
I don't know.
Soon we will dap. According to the Washington Post, they're saying there's non-citizens voting, and they're saying that Biden dropping out and VP Harris taking over was a coup. I think we all agree you can't call anything a coup in America until somebody shits on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Yeah.
You were there on January 6th.
Wow.
You were in the chamber.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was the worst day I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Not just because of the violence and the fear, but like I saw that this was happening to America. Like this is something that can't happen here. And yeah, it was a terrible day. And all my colleagues for the most part agreed with me until they didn't.
Were there any elected officials that tried to come and hide in your office that you didn't like? And you was like, you get your ass out there.
I'd have pushed out Ted Cruz.
It would have been a great opportunity to shit on his desk. No one would have known.
Speaking of election integrity, the RNC is training an army of poll watchers to, quote, protect the vote. What are battleground states doing to protect election officials from Trump's army?
I think this is where the flashpoint's going to be. It's not going to be in D.C. on January 6th.
Right.
It's going to be during the certification process at state houses. And the problem is, you can give me a security detail. I was a national figure, whatever. But in a county, if you have like 10 people that need police protection, you probably only have 10 cops in that county. So it becomes impossible.
Here's the security setup for the little old ladies counting the votes in Maricopa County, Arizona.
Get this, they will have snipers on the roof, metal detectors, and security at every entrance, drones surveilling overhead, and security cameras and floodlights to help law enforcement monitor this area.
That's all you got to do. You want to protect voting, just lock it up the way you do all that shit at the pharmacy. Excuse me, miss, could you come unlock my democracy? Does anybody know how many states the RNC has active election lawsuits in?
81.
I get that one. I get that.
Here's RNC co-chair Laura Trump with the official number.
We have lawsuits in 81 states right now.
Yes! Yeah.
Wait, try it again.
Sounds good.
Follow-up question just from Michael.
Uh-oh.
Name all 81 states. Republicans are also calling foul about Democrats interfering with the certification process. What specifically are they worried about?
About them following the Constitution?
Yep.
Republicans are worried about VP Kamala Harris, who's playing the role of Mike Pence in the 2024 election.
As vice president, Kamala Harris is tasked with certifying the election.
We shouldn't have the vice president, Kamala Harris, have some sort of unilateral authority to reject the electors.
This has never happened before. Let's ask Al Gore if he certified the election in 2000 and what that felt like.
If Kamala is there to certify her own contested election, who's considered to be Trump's ace in the hole in the event of a contested election?
Speaker?
It's Speaker Mike Johnson.
There you go.
Who tried to help overturn the 2020 election and will be in charge of certifying the 2024 election. But don't y'all worry, because Mike Johnson has said he'll accept the outcome of the 2024 election on one condition.
Of course, if we have a free, fair, and safe election, we're going to follow the Constitution, absolutely.
But otherwise, we won't follow the Constitution. By the way, in 2020, leading up to January 6th, he was the driver of that stuff. He drove those lawsuits, and he was actually very responsible for the lead up to January 6th.
Are you guys
and
still
now
in
he's
touch?
Speaker.
Or?
Yeah, we get a beer on occasion,
Yeah,
but nothing big.
Now for missing words. Captains, I'm going to give your team some recent news headlines with keywords cut out, and you have to fill in the blank and give us the full story. Here's your headline. I got a blank like Jennifer Aniston. Here's how it went.
An ass.
Jennifer Aniston got ass?
I was going to say a blowout.
That's what I was gonna say.
I got a salmon sperm facial like Jennifer Aniston. Here's how it went. Even though it's called a salmon sperm facial, the procedure involves a topical compound derived from salmon DNA. It costs anywhere from $600 to $2,000.
Thousands of dollars for fish juice.
Well, $600 to $2,000. You might not get salmon. You might prefer catfish or cod or something. Let's play a quick game. I'm gonna give you all the name of a facial treatment. You have to tell me what it entails. The fire facial. What's the fire facial and how does it work?
Crunch up a bunch of hot Cheetos. Pickle juice in it.
This is from China, actually. The client's face is draped in an alcohol-soaked towel and then lit on fire before being quickly extinguished with another damp cloth. They set your face on fire, as I like to call it, the Richard Pryor. Here's your next headline. Blank think blackface is an acceptable Halloween costume.
White people.
The amount of whites.
The amount percentage-wise?
Yeah, percentage of whites. The percentage of Americans.
68%.
80.
Percentage over here?
I'm going to say 5%.
5%. Oh, you playing the Price is Right. Okay. The answer, 1/3 of Americans think blackface is an acceptable Halloween costume. Bonus question. If 1/3 of Americans think blackface is okay, then statistically, that means almost 2 people on this panel think blackface is okay. Who are the 2 people, Amber and Sam, who are the 2 people that you believe on this panel?
Somehow the 2 people are both Michael. That's how strongly he believes it.
I mean, I think you gotta let kids do it. Listen, I had my friend, his kid, he wanted to be Kevin Garnett for Halloween, right? So he put on the Kevin Garnett jersey, then he went to his mother's makeup, and he was gonna darken his face. And of course, his parents said, like, no, you can't do that. That's offensive to black people. But there's a part of me that felt bad for him, because now he's just a white boy in a Kevin Garnett jersey. And he could have been that on any day of the week. You know what I mean? Like, no kid wants to not fully Halloween. You don't want to be a Ninja Turtle up to here, and it's just your head sticking out, and you're like, it's me, Antoine, but I'm really Michelangelo. No, you want to feel the thing.
You're right, it's both of them, them the 2.
We're all right over here.
America's most secret spy agency now has blank.
TikTok? What do you think? Something open, something like now spy agency, it's a big surprise, now has...
I like your answer of TikTok, and I think you should believe in yourself. Look Roy right in the eye and say with all your might, TikTok.
TikTok. Podcast. Close. The super secretive National Security Agency, a.k.a. the NSA, a.k.a. no such agency, has launched a podcast that, quote, pulls back the curtain on its role in keeping America safe.
Close the curtain.
Yeah.
Pull back the curtain. Put the curtain back.
Does anybody know what the podcast is called? What's the title of this podcast?
This podcast doesn't exist?
Secret podcast. This podcast will self-destruct in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It should be called parentheses redacted. Ooh. Let me call them.
It should be called...
It's okay. I'm sure they heard it. They're listening.
Yeah. It's called MLK. Okay, we did it.
Points. Here's the head of the NSA with the answer.
Today, you could sign up for No Such Podcast, which is NSA's podcast that will talk in many ways about our SIGINT and cybersecurity mission, and really are a next attempt in terms of transparency. Because we do want to be transparent in terms of wherever we can, and we want to be transparent with the American people.
Liar.
He said transparent too many times.
Yeah, who are you trying to convince?
It'd be funny if their first guest was Edward Snowden.
Michael and Robin, here's your headline. Mr. Greedy, penguin with blank, dead at 33.
Penguin with plan to take over Gotham City.
That's right.
Dead.
That's right.
33.
The answer is more than 200 offspring.
Oh.
That's why they call him Mr. Greedy.
Wait, I thought penguins made it for life.
Well, not Mr. Greedy.
Oh my God, Mr. Greedy's a hoe.
You knew what you were getting into when you fell in love with Mr. Greedy.
Does Mr. Greedy know Nick Cannon?
The penguin known as Mr. Greedy finally died after fathering over 200 offspring over 30 years.
30 years?
30, that boy never took a day off.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That boy, how much is that in child support? Like 6,000 fish, at least. Amber and Matt,
Yes.
here's your headline. Texas candidate blanks in campaign ad.
Shoots a gun, right? I don't want to
Texas.
get stereotypical, but
It's Texas. There are a lot of justifiable Texas guesses of what you could be doing in a campaign ad.
It's either, I feel strongly about this, twerks or strips.
what?
And I'm gonna go with strips.
Okay.
Then you look Roy Wood Jr. dead in his and you tell him strips.
Strips.
The answer, smokes a bong.
What were you?
Wow. Democrat Sally Duvall is running to represent Hill Country in the State House of Representatives, and let's just say the headline undersells itself.
Oh, God.
My name is Sally Duvall, and I'm running for the Texas House of Representatives. Visit my website to read all about my common sense policy. I'm Sally Duvall, and I believe it's high time for change in Texas.
My name's Sally Duvall. My name's Sally Duvall. My name's Sally. She kept repeating her name, not so that we'd remember it. It's because she needs to remember her name.
Oh my God. What is her platform? Just weed?
She
Weed for
just
all-
said what
Yeah,
her
sorry,
platform
sorry.
is. What did you
I
not
had a
understand?
contact high from the commercial.
Candidate blanks during live TV debate.
If it's not dies, it ought to be.
The answer is hits opponent with chair.
Yay!
The race for mayor of Sao Paulo turned violent last Sunday when José Luis de Tena hit his opponent, Pablo Marçal, with a chair.
Você não é homem nem para fazer isso. Você não é homem. Não, Datena. Vai. Não. Nossos comerciais, por favor.
Show the commercial, please. Show the commercial.
This is why we need a second debate.
And we're not going to make them do anything, but everyone's chair will be a folding chair.
Yeah. It'll just be there.
Amber and Charlie, here's your next headline. Rare Smelly Blank wins New Zealand Blank of the Year contest.
Fart, fart, final answer.
Fart, fart. The correct answer is Rare Smelly Penguin wins New Zealand Bird of the Year contest.
Did not think you were going to say penguin.
No.
This year's New Zealand Bird of the Year contest prize was taken home by the endangered hoi-ho penguin, whose name means noise shouter. And of course, this year's American Bird of the Year was once again a pigeon stuck at the Southwest Terminal at Newark International. Yeah, that's what it is, a hoi-ho penguin, the noise shouter, not to be confused with the rare American noise shouter.
Ding, 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 ding. Pshin, poom.
I saw some of that on Nude Africa. Michael and Rosebud, here's your headline. The Apprentice producers were shocked by Trump's blank.
Intellect. his musty carpet, and that is not a euphemism.
Can I say smell?
Yeah.
You're both right. Points. The answer is The Apprentice producers were shocked by Trump's musty carpet. Producers were shocked by the sorry state of Trump Tower when they visited, saying that there was a musty carpet odor that followed them like an invisible cloud. I think this does beg the question, though. Does the musty carpet match the musty drapes?
Roy.
He's asking.
Roy.
I can't ask a question about the musty carpet.
Roy.
For bonus points, can either team tell me how never Trump Republican Adam Kinzinger described Trump's personal odor on Jimmy Kimmel earlier this month?
Old food.
Old food is a good guess.
I can call Adam right now. He's in my cell phone.
Oh,
Ask him.
bragging. Pardon me.
He's my buddy.
We don't have a lifeline on this show.
Hey, it's Roy Wood Jr. I am in London hosting Have I Got News for You. We are going to play the games on the show with the audience in line and see what they know about the American election. I don't know anything because I've been over here. Let's go. We're going to play a game. It's called Missing Words. I'm going to read you a news headline. One word's missing. You tell me what word is missing to complete the headline.
Okay.
This is very simple. I think you can do it.
All right.
I believe in you.
All right.
Do you believe in yourself?
Yes.
That was a pause. I'm not sure if you do.
All right.
Donald Trump declares victory. Vows to what? Besides bring back the McRib year round.
Talk sense.
Or he could fix Hammersmith Bridge.
I don't think the president is
No.
gonna fix it.
Hammersmith Bridge, it needs money.
He's not gonna give it to you.
Trump Bridge, I can see it.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah, see, that's an investment.
The answer is Donald Trump delivers victory speech, vows to fix everything.
Impossible.
Our bridge.
Melania blank conspiracy theory returned on election day.
I don't know the answer, but she's always got her sunglasses on. I'm like, what is she hiding behind her eyes?
You're halfway there.
Oh.
Why would someone wear sunglasses?
Bad Botox?
Maybe it's those new smart glasses and it's telling her secret messages.
The answer is body double.
Or where was the real Melania?
So many questions.
Y'all are scary. I like y'all. U.S. can't confirm Putin's North Korean soldiers are gorging on what?
What do the Russians eat? What do they... I don't know, I'm so terrible. Let someone else have a go, come on.
No, come on. Putin's North Koreans are gorging on pornography. The Pentagon late Tuesday said it was unable to confirm reports that North Korean troops are taking advantage of their more expansive internet access in Russia and using it to consume copious amounts of online pornography. But that's what happens when you fill an army full of 13-year-olds.
Exactly. Pornhub.
Bonus question.
Never heard of it. We've never seen porn, have we, Helen?
No.
Let me stop before you get in trouble. Ivanka Trump makes first appearance of 2024 campaign as she joins her father for
dancing. You know, that lovely dancing that he does.
The double jack off?
The double jack off.
Yeah.
The blow job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump's daughter joined him on stage to do the double jack off.
Double jack off dancing. Yeah, absolutely.
Father-daughter double jacking.
It runs in the family.
Victory speech was the answer.
Yeah, okay. I didn't watch, but I'm sure he did.
You're right. He probably did a little double jacking. I don't detect a British accent.
No, I live here.
So you're a refugee.
I'm a refugee, yes. I escaped during the first Trump presidency.
Oh, so you left before it got bad.
Yeah.
Where in America are you from?
I'm originally from Utah, Salt Lake City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So it's just as white over here. This is
absolutely.
This is the perfect, the Utah to England transition.
Yeah.
We just got officially picked up for season 2, so we'll be back. We'll be back in 2025. We'll have a new president in office by then. We'll have a new Super Bowl champion. There'll still be 2 people stranded in space, though. I don't know if you're up on that. It's 2 motherfuckers still up there in space. They just waiting for Elon Musk to come and get them. You know how fucked up that is? You are stranded in space, and the person whose company is making the ship to come get you is on a plane with Donald Trump eating McDonald's. How do I stop attracting crazy-ass women in my life? That's from Eris and Astoria. That's from you. Is this the woman you came here with tonight? So let me understand this for a second, brother. You could have asked me any question in the world, and you were here on a date, and your question, not a date. I guess the shit just got downgraded now. Oh, you're his lesbian barway. Okay, so she's like, you know what, man? Every man should have a lesbian friend at the bar, because y'all like soften it make us look less crazy to the women. Because the women see you with a woman, they're like, oh, okay, he probably don't murder. I'll just go over there and talk to him. Favorite Bad Boys movie, part 1. That's an easy one. Myra from Dallas. Myra, why are the Cowboys called America's team? If you don't follow sports, the Cowboys ain't shit right now. They are a pretty terrible team if you're not up on the sport. I think the Cowboys are called America's team because they're run by a crazed billionaire who thinks he has all the answers. Which in that case would make it fitting. Tian from Toronto, if you took the substance, what young actor would be the younger, hotter you? Well, what makes you think I'm not young and hot right now? Eva wants to know from us, should I keep romantically developing a lover I had in Italy while I live in New York City?
What you mean by develop?
Keep in contact, you know?
Yeah, why not?
Where's Eva?
Eva, there's a good chance you're gonna have to flee the country soon. So yes, develop that relationship.
Follow your heart, Eva.
Yes.
I tell you this, though, this must be really weighing you down if you ask Roy. Like, you really going through this right
Am I not qualified as an unmarried 45-year-old man to give love advice?
But the real answer is exclusively, no. Non-exclusively, absolutely. Real? Sorry. It's not a fun answer, but that's real.
Oh, that sounds like a really fun answer.
So we got Scarlett from Waynesville, North Carolina. Where's Scarlett? Scarlett asks, what was it like to move from the South to New York City? That is a very, very difficult question to answer. I'd say the biggest transition from the South to New York is not giving a shit about how people are doing. You just have to stop caring. You have to stop caring. Don't open doors. How long have you been in New York? Almost 2 years. Okay, so then you're used to it now. You've seen your first rat. You've cussed at some people. Yeah, for me, the biggest thing with New York was learning how I feel like people here are sincere, but you have to prove it. But once you prove it, people in New York are just as warm as people down south. But don't clap yet. But don't hold no doors open for them because you don't know who gonna say thank you. Fuck those people. But other than that, y'all some good folks. I like New York. Devin from New York. Where's Devin? Where's Devin? Devin over here. Let me get a little closer to you, Devin. Let me see if I can work a little closer here to you. I'm sorry, camera. I done fucked you up because I'm walking around the mood. What if I just did this shit the whole time? Could you do the show like this if I just did the whole show like this? This would be a fun way to do a television show, just straight up FaceTime. Okay, so we got Devin. Devin from New York. Devin wants to know, parenthood. How scared or excited should me and my spouse be about having a baby? Well, the first question is whether or not you plan to have a baby. I'm a parent. It's fun, but it's a real responsibility. And I think, you know what sucks about parenting, man? Parenting, no, there's a couple things. Somebody said nothing. Parenting is the only job that you don't know whether or not you did it right for about 20 years. You just do it, and then somewhere around 21, 22, you be like, shit. I should have hugged your ass a little more. That's my bad. But no, you should be absolutely excited, man. I think the bigger hurdle with parenting to me as a father of an 8-year-old is how do I prepare my child for a world that is still constantly evolving and progressing or regressing? Like, it's a world that is constantly in flux. So I think that's the one piece of advice I give you is just try and figure out, just try to predict a little bit of like where you think the world's gonna be in about 2 years. What I'm saying is get that child a gun. All right, Usmar, New Jersey. How do we deal with family and co-workers that voted for Trump? Ooh, shit. Whew. How do you deal with family? Here's the thing. Family stay family. And look, it's very easy because you're still emotional about the election. Well, if you voted for Trump, I don't want to be around your ass, which is fine, but in 10 years, you might need a kidney. So you keep talking that shit to your family members if you want, and then you got to come back. Listen, I know I was tripping about the Kamala shit, but let me go and get a corner of your liver right quick. I don't know, man. I think that you have to try and figure out why they did what they did. I think a lot of people that voted for Trump are either looking at themselves and not thinking about the collective. And I'm not going to sit here and tell, because I don't know everything going on in your family, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you to try and understand why. But just know that the man is only in office. Trump is only going to be president for another 20 years. And after that, you're still going to have your family. So you need to keep that in mind. So try your best to move in love, and more importantly, make sure the kids have relationships. Because that's the thing where it can get a little dicey, is that you got little 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds who don't get to see their cousins anymore. Still try to set up the play dates and keep it amicable, and just start with the children, and maybe y'all can inch back towards something, or just wait for midterms and dunk on their ass. Y'all ready to make a television show?